Flosstube friends. Good morning and happy 2022. If you are an old friend coming back to check in on me, thanks for stopping by. I know it's been a while. And if you're a new friend, thanks for checking my channel out. I am obsessed with cross stitch. I'm obsessed with Snoopy. I love my sewing machine Eugenie, and I haven't made bags in a while. I do love making some project bags for myself and my family, and love all the beautiful fabrics that are out there, but I haven't done that in a while. I'll get into all the life updates, and then I do some knitting too, and I'm planning to knit some socks this winter, so maybe you'll see some of that too. But welcome! Welcome, thanks for stopping by. It has been a couple of months. Apologies for my absence. Life always has a way of having other plans. I think that's a quote by John Lennon, right? Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So I'll kind of tell you the order of things. I'm gonna start with some life updates, and I'll keep it brief because I know it's been a couple months worth. Then I'm gonna get into finishes that I got done, and I'm going to do a WIP parade because I have been doing a ton of stitching and I can't even remember what I showed you last and where it's at now. Plus, I really love a record of where your stitching is at the beginning of the year. I actually did last year a mid-year WIP parade, which I love too. I did that in July. So you can kind of see how your stuff progresses. And I like the idea of Flosstube not only because I love meeting friends and community, which is the #1 reason that I do this, but also because it's just a fun documentation of your stitchy journey. So I encourage you, if you're on the fence, to do a Flosstube because it's a wonderful community. People are so kind and welcoming, and it will open up so many new friendships for you. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. I love you guys. So let's get started. I have so much to talk about. I really want to try and keep this under an hour. First things first, I am wearing my Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching shirt. I love it. I love you girls. They are two of the most genuine, kind, loving people in our community. I've watched them since their very first video came out, and I just adore those ladies. So they sell the swag every now and again, and it's one of those really nice, like cozy, long sleeve t-shirts. So if you haven't, I encourage you to go check them out. Okay, so let's start back in the fall. So my last update was in September. At that time, I had gone camping once with my family, and then in October, I got to go camping with my family again. My stitchy sister, who is Snow Day Stitcher here on Instagram, her family has a camper, and they took me with them to the Wilderness State Park in Michigan, and it was gorgeous. It's at the top of the mitten, not the very tip top, but we were like right on Lake Michigan. It was beautiful. I got to spend a lot of quality time with my nieces. We had a ton of fun. I will insert some pictures here of our trip. So as you can see, we had the beach to ourselves. I mean, not that we were doing any swimming in October, it was a little bit chilly. But we actually spent a day where we went out on the beach, and my brother-in-law is so nice. He set up chairs for me and my sister, and we just stitched on the beach and listened to the waves of Lake Michigan, and it was wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. Another cool thing is too, the day we left, we were the very last camper out of the park. They get so much snow up there that they don't keep this section of the park open in the winter. So it was kind of fun to be pulling out and see like every single camp spot empty, because when we book in Michigan, we're actually going to take another family trip in July. You have to be like on the website at 8 a.m. 6 months in advance to try and get a site. I mean, that's how popular our Michigan state parks are for camping, which is awesome because it's a beautiful state. But so to be in a state park with all of the sites empty was really wild. It was really wild. But we had so much fun. One of the things that sticks out in my mind that we did is we went into St. Ignace, which is right on the other side of the Mackinac Bridge in the UP. And we went to this cool little place called Dusty's Gourmet Doghouse. And I bought this sticker for me and my nieces. It was just such a good memory. It was so much fun. This owner actually has his entire restaurant decorated with like shelter dogs and paintings of shelter dogs, and donates a huge amount of his profits to rescue animals. So we had a lot of fun with that. My niece Millie has still been doing some cross stitching, and she made me this. Is that not adorable? Millie, you did such a good job. I hang it in my craft room. It's so adorable. So she was having some fun cross stitching. My other niece Grace was doing some cross stitching. So we just had a wonderful time. It was just a cozy little experience. But on that trip, I was having a lot of pain in my abdomen. I had mentioned my medical problems a little bit before. And so I was like nauseous and, you know, just trying to make the most of it. I felt bad. I just wasn't 100%. So when I came back from that camping trip, I had to do quite a bit of medical stuff. So I've gone to a doctor and now a specialist, and I had to have a colonoscopy. And now I'm going to have some surgery, some minor surgery. I'm very blessed. Minor surgery coming up here in the next couple months. And I'm still experiencing some pain we're trying to get to the bottom of. So I've got to do another CAT scan. So a lot of that has kept me very busy. The house, I had a flood in the summer. I mentioned that to you guys, and I wanted to refinance because the rates are so amazing. So I had a lot of repair work to do in the house, a lot of drywalling that my friend Matt helped me with, and painting and organizing and purging stuff. So there was just every weekend was absorbed with that, you know, just making repairs and doing stuff. And I got the house all refinanced, so everything's great. But then right from that, we went into Thanksgiving, and it was wonderful. We weren't all able to get together, but we had a really good time, and the kids got to play, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. And then right after that, I mean, next year, people, next year, I am preparing for Christmas come September. You can laugh at me, really, but I've told my family this. I have a plan because in my mind, I always think, okay, the day after Thanksgiving, I like to put up my tree and then decorate. And then I have visions like, if you've seen Christmas Vacation with Clark Griswold, which is my favorite movie, and his wife sitting at the table and the snow is falling and she's in this cute sweater and she's drinking coffee and she's writing her Christmas cards. So this is my vision. And then we make the cookies, and there is very little time after Thanksgiving in order to get everything ready for Christmas. Between the Christmas cards, the decorating, every year we have, we started a new tradition. So for my mom's birthday, the family comes to my house and they have a gingerbread decorating event, which was so much fun. And then that leads right into Cookie Day, which for us is an all-day event. I mean, we make, if I had to guess, I would say like 20 dozen cookies. We make so many cookies. So it's like from morning till night cookies, and then packing the cookies. And then there's the presents. I have a very big family. So this office turned into Santa's workshop. I had piles of Amazon boxes. I have never recycled so much cardboard in my life. It was insane. It was insane. So after this year, I have realized we are going to start in September. In September, the cards will be filled out and stamped and ready to go. In October, the Christmas lights are going to go up. November, all the shopping is going to be done and the wrapping, so that I can just go into December and enjoy the festivities of Cookie Day and Gingerbread Day and all of the things. That is the plan for next year, because it was just like a frenzy over here. But one of the things that led to is, this is my craft room / office, and it's definitely a work in progress. But I decided, amidst all that crazy and the shuffling of my crafts to make room for all the boxes and the wrapping paper and all the things, I decided to start hanging up my cross stitch. And Annie, the proper stitcher, hi Annie, she inspired me because she said, you know, you just need to You just need to display your stuff, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you just need to do it. And it's true, because I had all of these, not all of these, I don't have a ton of finishes, but I had my cross stitch in a drawer. And so I was like, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I just plastered my wall with it. So what you see behind me here is my wall of happiness. I've got some of my finishes here in frames, and they're just, I do what Kim Goldman, K Goldman 63 on Instagram. If you go check out her Instagram, she has this beautiful craft room with all of her stuff in frames, and she shows it on her channel too, The Contented Stitcher on Flosstube, and she just pops it in there and it doesn't have to be perfect. You might want to change frames. Like these, I don't even have them laced in the back because I might want to turn them into pillows. I might want to put them on a display. But for now is good enough. And I'm just so happy that I did it, because it has been just so fun to, like, when I come in here to look at my stuff. That was a huge finish I did. That's June by Prairie Schooler. This is so funny, like pointing behind you. This is another one from the Prairie Schooler Snow Day that I finished that I love. But it's just so nice to see it, you know, combined with all my other little stuff, like drawings and stuff from my nieces. Yeah, and then these signs, these are Lionel train signs. My father passed away many, many years ago, but he used to collect trains. And so he had also collected these vintage Lionel train signs. And so my mom passed those on to us. And so those are very dear to me too. But I just love it, because now it's a wall of happiness. And when I come in here to work during the day, or to craft, or even to pay bills on my computer, it's just like happy, 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 happy. So that's my wall of happiness. So there was that. And then, like I said, we slid right into Christmas, and it was the festivities of Christmas. We went to the Detroit Zoo and saw the wild lights. We celebrated my brother Rob's birthday. There was very few days between Christmas Eve and New Year's that were actually like relaxing days. I mean, it was just all family and running around and doing stuff, and it was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun, but that's where I've been. That is the summary. I think, oh, that was 12 minutes, sorry. That was the summary of where I've been. So now let's talk about stitching, which is why you're here. First, let's talk about finishes. I have one FFO and a couple of finishes that I've done in the past couple of months that I want to share. So this first one, and I was super proud of this. This is Haunted, and this is in the Autumn Small series by Lizzie Kate. I stitched this on 32 count beige linen with all the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. It's just such an adorable little stitch. It did not take very much time. It was just, it's so cute. And then I got some fabric, and I decided to test Eugenie's skills. So this is definitely not hand stitched here. There is no credit to be given for this fine embroidery work here other than to my friend Eugenie. But this is like one of the settings on my sewing machine. For those of you who are new here, I named my sewing machine Eugenie. So I tested out one of her settings, and it was so much fun. I just took a piece of ribbon, like I sewed these two pieces together, and then I overlaid the ribbon, and I attached the ribbon with that little embroidered leaf pattern. So that was fun. I had a good time with this. The back is just the same fabric. And the other thing I did on this, because I've been watching a lot of you, is I filled just the bottom, maybe like up to here, with walnut shells. And the rest I did with the stuffing, so that when I set it, it has that nice heavy bottom, and it will sit up. So I really enjoyed this one. I still keep it out on my little table here because it's just so adorable. Okay, next finish, and I just posted this on my Instagram. This was a big finish for me. This is Christmas Eve by the Prairie Schooler. And I just love this pattern. I love the Santa flying through the air and the colors. But I will say, there was a lot of stitching in this. A lot more than I realized when I first looked at it, because like the bottom, I guess the bottom third of it is almost full coverage. So let me show you. I stitched this one on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. I used all the called for threads, which was all, excuse me, which was all DMC. And this is my finish. Isn't it so cute? Oh, I love it. So yeah, if you look at the bottom there, the bottom third, that's all the snow was all solid stitching, the houses, the trees. So it was a lot more stitching than I anticipated when I first started it, but I'm so glad that I finished it. It is adorable. I just really love this one. Just fun, happy block stitching. You know, that's the thing I love the most about the Prairie Schoolers is there's a lot of patterns where you've really got to focus and you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. With a Prairie Schooler, there tend to be these big blocks of color, and it's nice just chill stitching where you don't have to think so much about confetti or specialty stitches, or, you know, you can just go and go and go. So that was super, super fun. I really, really enjoyed this one a lot. The next finish that I have, this is from the Lizzie Kate Flip It stamps. So I saw my friend Carrie and Stitches, I'll put her Flosstube here at the bottom. Carrie and Stitches doing these, and I thought these are so adorable for little monthly pillows, right? I'm all about the pillows now. So I've got this little pillow, and I was like, oh, November, I could put out this little turkey pillow. So I think I have all of them now. I've been collecting them slowly. But I finished November, and I stitched this one on 32 count American Chestnut by R&R. All the called for threads. Isn't he so cute? I mean, I love this one. This is probably my favorite of all of them, just because look at those big colorful feathers. The threads, you can just see the variegation. It brings out so many beautiful colors. Oh, I had so much fun. And this is the one I was stitching on the beach when I was on my camping trip at Wilderness State Park with my sister. So I just loved this. I had so much fun with this. It was an easy stitch. The colors are pretty. So I plan on turning this one into a little pillow for my little display. So that was really fun. Okay, next I saw this pattern from my friend Michelle, who is Penny's Daughter Shares on Instagram, and she has an amazing Flosstube. She's a super fast stitcher. I swear she's hiding another hand somewhere. But this is by Brenda Gervais, and I saw her stitch some of these, and I had to start them. They're so adorable. There's several patterns. You can see them there and on the back. So the first one that I stitched, and I might have shown this on my last video, but I'll just show it again really quickly. I stitched this on 32 count Chestnut by R&R, 2/2, and it was just this adorable chubby little witch. And I had so much fun with this. The colors are adorable. She's so cute with these super tiny feet. I went a little bit rogue in the spider web. It was a lot of back stitch, and yeah, but I think it looks good. I had a lot of fun with it. It's gonna be a sweet little adorable Halloween pillow for my basket. So I did that one, and then I turned around and I did Ghosts and Goblins. Now this one is on, oh, that's my Christmas clock. I got a Snoopy Christmas clock from my mom, and it's musical, and it goes off on the hour, and it has brought me so much joy. I am still work from home, and I sit in this office and I work, and it's just so much fun to hear it go off with this adorable little Christmas carol. I think I'll leave it up all year, Christmas 365. Okay, so the next one that I stitched is Ghosts and Goblins, and I just love that little ghost. Look at those adorable pink cheeks, and he has a little bat balloon. Oh, I love this one so much. That ghost is probably the cutest ghost I've ever seen. But I stitched this one on 32 count Hog's Bristle by Fox and Rabbit. And I will say I love this fabric. I love kind of the a little bit grungy look for Halloween, but it's a really rich color, really easy to work on. So I had a ton of fun with this one. So cute. That ghost is so cute. So that will be another pillow for next Halloween. And then lastly, I may have shown this one too, but I'll just show it again because I can't remember. This finish is Boo by Lizzie Kate. It's a little small. It uses Weeks Dye Works threads. I love the colors. I think this is either Capri or Ocean. I think it might be Capri and this blue, and then this is Dried Sage up here in the green. Those little chubby owls with the big eyes. Ugh. I had so much fun stitching this one. So this is on 28 count Wheat Lugana. So all of those, I plan on doing little pillow finishes, and I can put them in my display basket. I had so much fun doing them. I had so much fun. Okay, let's get on to WIPs. I have a lot to share in that department. So when I went on my first camping trip in September, we went to Manistee with my family. I got this journal, which I absolutely adore. It says, "I must be a mermaid. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living." I love that quote. And so I decided to turn this into my cross stitch journal. And so I just have it, you know, Melanie's projects, and I put the information for each of the projects in here. And so that's what I'm gonna read by. So I can get you all the information. I have the stack of WIPs you can see over here. So last year, my plan for 2021 was to stay within 35 WIPs. I had a page in my Happy Planner that I showed in a lot of my videos, and I had 35 squares set out, and I was not gonna go over 36. And once I finished something, I could put a sticker over that and start something new and keep myself under control with 35. I finished out the year with 36 WIPs. So I did end up one over going into 2022, but I had a finish and a start at the beginning of 2022. So I'm still sitting at 36. So I'm gonna go through those with you. The first one, this is a favorite. This is getting so close to a finish. I definitely think it'll be finished next year. This is Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. I love this pattern. That cat reminds me of my cat Trax, and the colors in this, oh, I was so drawn to this. I saw this and I immediately had to get it and stitch it. So this is just such a beautiful pattern. I am stitching mine on 28 count R&R 18th century brown. It has classic colorworks, gassed, and weeks dye works, and it's 2/2. And this is where, oh, you know, I'm gonna need like a little board or something behind me here so that I can, that window is pretty bright, so I'll just keep this guy out. And this is where I'm at. It is such a fun pattern. I was working on the border all the way around when I ended up this past fall. I've got about 3/4 of that moon done. Just fun stitching. The colors are so fun. I changed that house. I think it called for toasted barley, maybe. I changed that house to aged pewter because I wanted it to look a bit more silver. So all I have left on this is the rest of the border, these letters on the bottom, and then a little bit more of the greenery here on the side. So I definitely think by next year I could have this one finished. Such a fun stitch. Okay, I'm gonna pause you 1 second and get a whiteboard so that the light won't shine through. Hold on. Okay, I'm back and I've got a board so that hopefully the light won't shine through as badly. Okay, so the next one is Winter Wonderland. This is by Little House Needleworks. I'm stitching it on 28 count wheat Lugana. It is DMC and Classic Colorworks, and I'm stitching it 2/2. So this is one of my oldest WIPs. I think I started this one in 2017. It was a stitch along with Priscilla and Chelsea, and I do love it. So I have it on a plan to get it finished this year. And this is where I'm at. Isn't that's so cute. I love the little bunny, of course. I love the snowman. That to me looks like the epitome of Frosty the Snowman in my mind, like from my childhood. That's how I see Frosty. And so the colors on this are pretty. It's a very easy stitch. I really don't have much left. I've got these trees over here and the hill and the rest of Wonderland. So I'm super close on this. My sisters came over for a weekend, a sister's weekend, my sister Megan and my sister Melissa, and they kind of sat me down and had an intervention, and they're like, you need to get some of these WIPs done. They're like, you're always buying new things, and we're gonna go through with you, and we're gonna tell you what you're close on and what you need to finish. So it was funny. But my sister Melissa, a snow day stitcher, she's a very monogamous stitcher. So I feel like I draw her out a little bit to like, hey, start something new. And she and my sister Megan are like, you just need to work on one thing. So it kind of works out. So let me open my other planner, which I'll share in a little bit. But I've listed all of my WIPs and the ones that they told me are a goal to finish. So Midnight Watch, which I just showed. and Winter Wonderland, they said, you are close, try to finish that this year. So sisters, I'm gonna try. So that's that one. Oh, and I should have shown you the pattern. Here's the pattern by Little House Needleworks. So cute. He is just adorable. I love his little scarf. 2 bunnies bopping around and a cardinal. Oh, I love that one so much. Okay. Next is Elizabeth Addlesey. Now this is a stitch along under the hashtag Stupid Tumor Sal with Betsy Klager. Hi, Betsy. She has a floss tube. She's an awesome floss tuber. She's real and funny and just genuine. So go check her out if you haven't. So this, we were all stitching along with her in support of some medical issues that she's got going on. And this was the pattern that was chosen, and so many people have finished it. Betsy finished hers. It's a beautiful pattern. The colors in this, I mean, I'll show you on my piece, but those really rich blues, oh, and then some of these softer colors up here in the lettering. I love this one. I love this one. Now this is goal to finish according to the sister panel, the sister sanity panel. They told me this one's on your list to finish, and I agree with them. I think I'm close. I think I can definitely get this one done. I am stitching this one on 32 count light mocha, and the threads are Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works. And here is where I'm at, 2/2. So this is just such a fun sampler. Like I said, it's like some very soft sand colored colors up here, and then some really stark rich coloring, like the color in the bird. It's just a really pretty piece. I really like how, you know, when you look at it from farther back, some of these rich colors just really pop out. Like this splotch of orange here. I think this is pumpkin, maybe? I think that's pumpkin. Just such a fun stitch. I'm really enjoying this. And I agree with my sisters. I think I can get this one done in 2022. So that's Elizabeth Addlesey. Okay, next is one of my favorites. I saw this one started by Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. She just posted another WIP Parade. I cannot watch Lisa Smith without dashing for my credit card. It's impossible. I have to like hide my credit card in the freezer or something so that I can't unthaw it while I'm watching Lisa Smith, because anytime she does a WIP Parade, I'm here for it, and I'm buying all the things. So this is Good Company by the Scarlet House. I love this one. It is such a beautiful, beautiful chart. I'm a big animal lover, so the dogs and the deer and the bird, that beautiful blue water is just such rich colors. This is stitched with silks, so I am stitching mine on 32 count buttercream by Lakeside Linens, and the called for threads, which are Classic Colorwork Belsois. And the saying says, she lives on a hill overlooking the sea with only her dogs for good company. She doesn't need less, she doesn't need more than to hear the waves crash into the shore. Girl, I feel you, because that is me with my dogs. I absolutely love it. Okay, so let me show you where I'm at. Again, I'm stitching 2/2. I did work on this year, and this is not planned to finish. Obviously, this is a very big piece, so I'm not going to finish it next year, but I definitely want to make a point to work on it because I do love working on it. And so here's where I'm at. So it's just so much fun. This little beehive, I love it. The border is so pretty. I don't mind doing the border. The colors are just so nice to work with, the silks. I would say the thing I don't like the most is the over one on the letters, and that's just because I don't stitch a lot of over one. So for me, it's a bit more thinking when I'm doing that, but it's such a pretty pattern. I really need to do more on it. I really love this one. So that's Good Company. Okay, put this over here. All right, next we're gonna flip a page. So this is Harvest Time by the Prairie Schooler. I love this pattern. It just speaks everything fall to me. I'm doing this top one up here. The the beauty of this pattern is it is all DMC. Prairie Schoolers use DMC, but the colors, it just reminds you when you do these how beautiful DMC is. It's gorgeous. And the colors are just so rich. I love this little scene, this little town scene. So pretty. Okay, so mine is being stitched on 32 count antique white, 2/2, with all of the called for DMC. And I did work on this past fall. It is not on the goal to finish for 2021. But here's where I got to. So I was working a bit more on this cart, and then I got into the graveyard here and this pumpkin, and I started the church. And it's just a joy to stitch. Like I mentioned with Prairie Schoolers before, you just can go and go and go. And it just, I mean, look how beautiful these trees are. The colors are so rich. Yeah, this one just screams fall to me. I love this one. I love this one, so it'll definitely come out again next fall. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Okay, we're on number 6, When Flowers Blossom. The first thing that caught my eye with this pattern is the saying. Oh, it says, the flower doesn't dream of the bee. It blossoms and the bee comes. Ooh, I love that. I love, love, love that. There was a stitch along this year with Kim Goldman, like I mentioned, the Contented Stitcher, and several others, and I almost brought mine out, but I was preoccupied with something else at the time. So there, a lot of people have finished this one. It's just such a beautiful pattern. See, this is such a good thing about WIP Parades, because I go through my WIPs, and I take them out, and I organize them, and I touch them, and I look at them, and it reinvigorates my love for each one of them, and reminds me why I started them, and then it's like, I immediately want to go stitch on them, so it's good. It reinvigorates my desire to get these done. So this is by With Thy Needle and Thread. So mine is being stitched on 32 count Heartland using Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and Classic Colorworks. And let me show you where I am. So here's where I am. I immediately hightailed it to this corner to start with this house because that pink, I love stitching a house, but a pink house, pink and red houses are my jam. So I finished that house, and then I started over here, and these are satin stitches, I believe. So the specialty stitches kind of slowed me down a little bit, and I bopped down here and I did the flower. So I definitely want to get back to this one in spring. It is not on the finish for 2021. Obviously, I still have a lot of stitching to go, but I definitely want to work on it. I want to work on them all. That's the thing. I do these WIP parades, and I realize I just want to work on them all. Okay, next. Next is Spring Delivery by Brenda Gervais. I saw Annie the Proper Stitcher do this one. She has a picture on her on her Instagram showing the absolutely adorable finish of this one. And I just had to go and buy it immediately. It's so cute. That bunny, it just screams spring. I love, love, love it. Yeah. So I am stitching mine on 32 count light mocha. It's Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks, and Weeks Dye Works, 2/2. And here's where I got to. Look at that bunny needle minder. He's so cute. So just a fun stitch. I'm loving the fabric. I'm loving the colors. You can just go. It's not a complicated stitch. I'm really having fun with this one. But like I said, I'm a very seasonal stitcher, so I definitely will get this back out again this year, but it'll be in the spring when I'm in the mood for all the bunnies. And that is not on the goal to finish. Okay. Next is Bunny Hop, and this is by Country Cottage Needleworks. So cute. Again, this is one of my oldest WIPs. Those 3 little hopping bunnies just drew me in. I love the just soft coloring in this pattern. It just screams spring and Easter, and yeah, I love this one so much. Okay, so I'm stitching mine on 28 count Wheat Lugana with the called for threads, which are DMC and Weeks Dye Works, 2/2. And here's where I got to. So this is just such a fun one. I don't know why I haven't finished it. It is on the goal to finish. The sisters deemed that it needs to be done. And I don't have a ton more to do, like fill out this tree, and then I'm heading over this way on the pattern to get to that house. So there's some stitching left, but not a ton. I think it'll be some concentrated time to get it done, but I do want to get it done because it's just so cute. And I would love to have it out this spring. Such a cute pattern. Okay, next, Autumn Quakers. This is a big one. Now, the only person I think I've seen finish this one is Lucky Chance Stitcher, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. She just restarted her floss tubes, by the way. She was a floss tuber before and then took a bit of a break, and then she reorganized her amazing craft room and has restarted her floss tube channel. So go check her out. She is one heck of a stitcher. I mean, she has some big finishes and some big projects. I just love watching Amanda. But I know she finished this. Fall is my favorite season. I was immediately drawn to all these colors. It's just so brilliant. It's everything fall, just screaming at me on a cross stitch. So that's why I started stitching it. Okay, so mine is being done on the called for fabric, which was 32 count doubloon. I'm using the called for Valdani threads, and I'm using one strand of the Valdani, which is actually three threads thick, 2 over 2, not 2 over 2, one strand over 2. And here's where I am at. So I had restarted this one, and this is where I've gotten to with the restart. I do love those colors. Those Valdani threads are so rich. Beautiful, beautiful fall colors. So I need to get back to this one. The thing that slows me down on this one, and the reason why I always put it away, is because there's so many color changes. Like if you just look in that flower right there, I don't want to like drag the threads a ton. And so you're just making a lot of color changes while you're doing this, but so worth it, right? So absolutely worth it. It's just so rich and beautiful. I'll definitely work on this one again this year, but it won't be a finish. Okay, next, Valentine House Trio. Okay, Valentine House Trio, and this is by Waxing Moon Designs. I absolutely adore Valentine's Day. It's always been one of my very favorites. I love that it's all about love and all the hearts and cutesy pink, adorable Valentines come out. So my plan for these is to do all 3 and then hang them in a display. I finished this one. That one is sitting, is it on this side? Yeah, it's right there in that little frame for now. And I am working on this one with the little doves. So I love that pattern. It's so pretty. I am stitching it on 32 count beautiful beige with the called for Weeks dye works 2 over 2, and this one is very close. Isn't that so pretty? That bunting is so pretty. I love the colors in this, the rich reds and that pink door. They're just so pretty, and the little funky tree, I love it. So this is on the goal to finish for 2021. I think it's very doable. And I will be working on that very soon because Valentine's Day is upon us. Okay, next, January Cottage. So I have a dream for these. If you look right back here, I found this little, it's like a little barn door, a miniature sized barn door at, I think I found it at Michael's. I think it was Michael's. And my vision is to complete all of the cottages of the month, and then in this top section here to have them on there with a magnet and washer like Priscilla does, and then be able to swap it out every month. So that is the dream. I just have a lot of stitching to do. So Country Cottage Needleworks, the one I'm working on right now, is January. I love the blue in that house, and I love that snowman. So, so cute. So this is where I'm at. I am stitching this on that fabric I told you about, 32 count Hog's Bristle. I love the rich color of it. It's Weeks Dye Works threads, 2 over 2. And so this is where I've got to. So I just love, look how pretty that thread is in the house. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So these are fun. I love to build a house. I just love it. It's so much fun. Some people love it, some people hate it, but for me, I just love it. And I think these will be so much fun to just every month have a little calendar with the adorable houses. So I gotta get back to work on that. That is on the goal to finish, but then it'll immediately be replaced with February. Okay, next is a Kiss for Snowman. So this is a Dimensions Gold kit, a petite kit. I saw Dana Half Stitch Cross Stitch do this one. It's beautiful. She finished it beautifully. She replaced all of these French knots with white beads, which is what I'm planning on doing as well. It looks like real snow. I'm stitching this for my mom. This reminds me of her. She has that color hair and she's been obsessed with snowmen forever. So I saw this and I thought of her. I just love this one. So this is being stitched on the kit fabric, which is 18 count Aida over 1. So here's something that I actually stitch over 1 as it calls for. And I did restart this one. So I had done it on, so I should take that back. I had started it on the kit fabric, which was white Aida. But I just wasn't happy with how my stitches were lying. I think because I started it so many years ago. Well, not so many, but like 4 years ago. I've changed my technique since then, and this is such a special piece that it's just one that I wanted to just be perfect for her. So I restarted it on 18 count Aida, and here's where I'm at. So I started off in this background. You know, these dimensions kits are so much fun because they really just blend together so beautifully and make something that looks just like a painting. My mom is a Snoopy fan, just like me. That is where I got my love of Snoopy and the Peanuts, so definitely have to have this needle minder on there. So that's Kiss for Snowman. Okay, what number are we on? 13. Etude. So I downloaded this off Etsy. It's a PDF from Lena Cross Stitch. So I will insert a picture of it here. Now this one, my vision for this is if you look at the one on Etsy, which you just saw, it's several different DMC colors and it's kind of like a rainbowy pattern and it's, excuse me, it's really pretty. But something about this one, I just wanted it to look like snowflakes. I love the different geometric designs in it. And for me, I just had this vision on gray fabric with a deep blue and a bright white of snowflakes. And it would just look like a huge snowstorm when I was finished. So I am stitching this on 32 count dark cobblestone with Classic Colorworks Snowball is the white and Mermaid's Fin is the blue. And I am just loving how it's looking. This is 2 over 2. I just think this piece is going to be so stunning when it's finished. Those colors just pop on this fabric. It's just going to be a beautiful snow scene, and I'm going to put it in a bright white frame. I think this would be so pretty. So, so pretty. I want to stitch on all the things. Oh my gosh, it's so hard when I see these. I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep that out and stitch on that today. Okay, next, this was another inspiration from Michelle at Penny's Daughter Shares. She finished this pattern. It's Flea Market Flowers, and this is by Lori Holt. She finished this in the cutest little wall hanging. It's like a boho chic, adorable with like beads and tassels, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so adorable. And I would never have thought to finish something that way. So I am going to try and finish mine as a wall hanging, not exactly the same, but she gave me a lot of inspiration, so thank you, Michelle. And so I ordered this pattern and had to get started on it. It's just, look at these colors. Oh my gosh, they're just so happy and cheerful. I don't know how you can work on this pattern and just not be in a cheerful mood. So I am using the DMC threads for this one. I am stitching it on 32 count antique white, 2 over 2. And I did stitch on this one since the last time I showed it. Whoops. And here is where I'm at. So I am just having so much fun with this. Again, I want to just stitch on it today now that I've seen it. It's so pretty. This flower is the one that just, wow, I saw that and I had to stitch it. It's just so beautiful. And again, like I said, that's DMC. DMC is so gorgeous. I swear it doesn't get enough credit. It's just beautiful. I am so in love with this. So I want to turn this into a wall hanging. I might try and quilt it and just have it hanging year round. It's so pretty. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go stitch. I'll be back later. Oh man, okay, and that is definitely not on the list as a goal to finish this year because I have a lot left on it. Okay, next is Peace on Earth Sampler. So I had mentioned to you Lisa Smith. This was one where my credit card basically just leapt across the room into my hand. Somehow my fingers mysteriously got on Etsy and ordered it. It's just gorgeous. That house just sucked me in. Oh my gosh, those colors. It's like a sherbety pink and orange house. And that saying, it says, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Yep, I'll be right back because I need to stitch this right now too. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, I love it so much. So I immediately started it, of course. And I am stitching mine on 36 count sand dunes with Gentle Arts, and I am again copying Lisa. Let me show you first. Let me show you the pattern first, or my progress first. So this is 2/2. I started over here in the corner with this beautiful fruit basket. I mean, just look how beautiful these colors are. But this house, so I had to like work my way over to this house immediately because I'm just obsessed with the house. And what I copied from Lisa is I asked her, she had in her video, she changed this Merry Christmas to a Gloriana silk, and it's Arnhem Heath. And so I had reached out to her and she told me what color it was, so I ordered it, and I'm doing mine the same way. The only thing that stopped me in my tracks on this Christmas is I'm off by a stitch. I'm off by one stitch in between the Y and the C, which in itself doesn't seem to be a big deal. But because I counted off the letters to come up to start the house, I have now ended up 2 stitches off in the house. So like there's an additional stitch here in between these windows you can see, and now it's just compounding as I go. So I'm a weird perfectionist. I know I should just fudge it, but I think it stresses me out more trying to fudge it than just making it right, because this is such a beautiful piece. So I am going to frog out the house and Christmas. Oh, that's a lot of stitches, I know, but I will sleep easier and stitch happier if I do that. So because Christmas was coming to an end and I had moved on to other things, my plan with this one is I'm gonna frog out this house, and I'm gonna frog out from here over and make that correction so that my house looks a bit more symmetrical. That extra space in there, it bothers me. I swear I am not a perfectionist like this in all aspects of my life, clearly. But when it comes to the stitching, for some reason, and you know, I mentioned that on Sister Week, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna frog it out. And my sister's like, no, Melanie, no. Yes, sister, yes. Okay. I told her someday when I pass on to the next life, all of my unfinished WIPs are hers. I told her she does not have to finish them. She got that panic look in her eyes like, what? Okay, the next one is Country Cottage Needleworks Snow Girls Cottage. Now the vision for this, and it is still the vision, is I don't like taking down the Christmas tree. When you take down the Christmas tree, you have all these beautiful soft lights in the house, and it's so cheerful and warm and wonderful. And then you take it down, and it's like, wah, wah. So I want to have a winter tree, and I want it to be like an artificial tree, white, you know, like 1960s white. And I want to have all these little frosty forest ornaments on it because they're all just winter and they're so cute. So that's the vision. 30 years from now, maybe that tree will be done. So I am stitching mine on 32 count pearl gray linen with DMC and Gentle Arts that it calls for, 2/2. And this is where I am. So I am super close on this one. Granted, there are 9 more in this series, but yeah, this is such a fun little stitch. It's adorable. It puts you in the mood for winter. The colors, again, look at the blue in that house. Oh, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. So this is on the plan to finish in 2021 because I am so close. So that is what I'm going to work toward. Okay, I got to speed it up. I'm carrying on and rattling on. Okay, For the Love of Nature by Teresa Kogut. I had one of my subscribers reach out to me and say, hey, have you seen this pattern? And I had not. And so I immediately went and purchased it. Because how can you not with these adorable animals? I'm such an animal lover These two are doing a little nose rub or a smoochie. I don't know, it's all cute to me. Just so sweet. So I had to have it, had to start it, had to do all the things. Okay, so this is on 32 count beautiful beige. The threads in this pattern are Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, and DMC. I'm doing it 2/2. And here is where I do. Isn't that so cute? Smoke hearts. I just, I have to stitch on it today. There will be no laundry done today. It will be only stitching. So yeah, I love this pattern. The colors are beautiful. It's just so cheerful with all the animals. I definitely want to get back to this one. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And what's good is, you know, in this WIP Parade, I have one UFO that I'm going to show you, but it was great to like go through and touch them all and look at them all. And like I said earlier, kind of remember why I started them and just kind of clean house, because it's completely okay if you UFO things. There are so many things to stitch and we have a very limited life on this earth. So if something's not calling to you, if something just doesn't resonate with you anymore, your tastes have changed, feel free to UFO it. I give you permission. That's my theory anyway. But I was happy to see that when I went through all of my WIPs, there was only one that I UFO'd. The rest, I just wanted to touch them and love them and stitch on them. Okay, moving on. Teresa Kogut, Curious Bunny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am obsessed with the bunnies. Those of you who are my friends here know I love the bunnies. I saw Steph. Steph as in Steph. Stitch this one. She finished it into a standing, like a standing stuffy, like a standing bunny. It's so cute, and I just immediately had to go and get this one. So adorable. I love Teresa Kogut. Teresa Kogut lives in Michigan, and I live in Michigan, but I promise not to stalk her. So I am stitching mine on 32 count ivory with DMC and Weeks Dye Works 2/2. Now, let's talk about the boo-boo. So the boo-boo is I just went to town on this guy because I was so excited. I just started filling him in like crazy with Weeks Dye Works putty. He's not supposed to be Weeks Dye Works putty. Weeks Dye Works putty is these big flowers around it, so I need to frog all that out, which is not a biggie deal. I will do it and I will fill him in appropriately. Right now he looks like he's wearing, it is cold here in Michigan, so he's all bundled up. One ear in, one ear out of a big scarf. But yeah, so I need to frog that out and refill him in with the correct color. So I will do that this spring. Okay, United We Stand. Ooh, let me go back real quick. So United We Stand is the next one that's on the to finish in 2021. Again, Teresa Kogut. You can see I went on a little escapade there. This one is so adorable. I just love, this is one of my most favorite patriotic pieces that I've seen. These two girls are so sweet, and the bird and the hair and the little heart and the flag. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, so I am stitching mine on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha with the called for DMC. And you know what? I take that back. I did change, well, let me show you where I'm at. So here's where I'm at. I love this one so much. I did change the color of her hair here. I wanted it a little richer. It was like a pale yellow, and I wanted it just with this fabric to be more of a rich yellow color. So I changed that, but I have a lot of stitching to do still. There's a lot of stitching in this piece. Those dresses are solid. So this is a bit of a stretch goal for me to finish this year, sisters. Keep that in mind. But I'm gonna try, because I do love this one so much. It's so cute. Okay. We are on number 20. We're getting there. Okay. Penny Pumpkin. Again, inspired by Michelle. Girl, you are as bad as Lisa Smith with taking my credit card for a ride. So Penny Pumpkin by Scarlet House. Michelle finished this. Please go look at her finish. It's 1,000 times more gorgeous than my stitching and finish will be. But it's so pretty. She finished it as a pillow. I copy. Want to finish it as a pillow. It's just so pretty. So I love this pattern. I'm stitching mine on 32 count Wren. with Gentle Arts threads 2/2. And here's where I got to this fall. So I just love it. You know, a white pumpkin, oh, there's something about that. It's just so beautiful. And this penny border, the colors in this penny border, it is just a beautiful, whoops, a beautiful, beautiful stitch. I love it so much. I'm definitely planning on finishing it in a pillow like Michelle did. It's so gorgeous. So when the fall leaves start turning again, that will definitely come out. And that is a goal to finish for 2021. Okay, next one. This is another, they told me goal to finish, but it will be a stretch. We will see. This is Cottage Garden Peace on Earth. I have to say, the patterns that Cottage Garden is putting out lately, they just came out with like a, what is it? Something in the forest. 12 months in the forest, or I'm not sure. It's like, I think it's a series, but there's like this gorgeous fox. I really do love their stuff, and I just feel like their patterns are just getting better and better. So this is Peace on Earth. I love this pattern. I bought this when myself and a bunch of Michigan stitchy friends met up in Fenton at Stitches and Things, and I saw this on the wall, and it had not been on my radar. I had not seen it before, and I immediately had to purchase it, so I bought all the stuff for it that day. That cardinal is so pretty. Okay, so I am stitching mine on 28 count Weeks Dye Works Vintage Tundra, and I am using the called for threads 2/2. And this is where I'm at. So I just had this Peace on Earth and like the roof and a little bit here. So this December, I did quite a bit more in the house here and got to about here. I do love it. I will say I had a hard time with Weeks Dye Works linen on the non-Zweigart base to start. I feel like I had a harder time. And this one I believe is Zweigart because it's got the orange stripe. But some of my other pieces are not, and I have learned to love it. I just like backed off on my tension a little, and now I really enjoy working on it. So this is just such a beautiful color. It's like a grayish green. I love this one. So they have that on the list to finish. I have a lot of stitching left on it, but I'm gonna try. I am gonna try. Okay, next is Christmas Advent by, okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. I went as far as to type this into Google and try and help me pronounce it. Because I kept saying crochet-a-go-go, and it's not crochet. I think it's crocheta? Crochet-a-go-go. However it's pronounced, and I apologize if I'm butchering it. They are one of my favorite designers nowadays. I just bought a bunch more patterns from them that I'm planning to start in 2022. They just have a beautiful, soft look about them that I love so much. So I'm going to insert the pattern here because it's a PDF. I PDF downloaded it and I want you to see the full thing. Okay, I am stitching mine, and this is a sale with my sister, Snow Day Stitcher. She is way ahead of me because, as we mentioned, she is a monogamous stitcher. I am going to show you her beautiful piece before I show you my pathetic piece. So I will insert a picture of hers here. Isn't that gorgeous? Her stitching is so beautiful, and she's been working so hard on that. She inspires me. It's like it's good we're sisters because she's been sending me text messages like as she finishes the squares, which is so fun, right? You finish the motif. And so I was like, gosh darn it, I'm gonna go get that out of its bag and work on it. So I did. She inspired me. So we now have, I found these needle minders on Etsy because we went camping together this summer. We now have these little Christmas Shasta Camper matching needle minders. And here is where I got to. So I am stitching, we both are stitching this on 32 count raw linen with the DMC 2/2. So when I first started this, was like halfway through this ornament. I didn't have any of the center or the top done. She kept sending me these pictures and I was like, okay, it's happening. And I finished this ornament I moved down here and I finished this angel except for the flame on this candle, which I'm waiting on a DMC for. And then I popped down and started working on this gingerbread house, and I got quite a bit done on that too. So I really want to keep working on this in January. I am in the mood now. Thank goodness I have a sister who is a monogamous stitcher to rein me in, bring me back down to earth. Because it is so adorable. I love it so, so much. Now, Melissa had a good idea on hers. There's, like, the colors in this are just a very soft, Christmassy colors. If you look at hers, she did like a darker green. When she was over for Sister Weekend, she picked out a darker green, and I love the darker green. I think I'm going to accent some of my greens with that dark color too, like maybe the wreath with the reindeer. But these here, in these first 3 blocks, are all the called for. So pretty. I love this designer. I love, love, love this designer. So beautiful. Okay, next. Number 23, first day of Christmas. So this is Hello from Liz Matthews, first day of Christmas. I think she has out to number 5 now, the 5 golden rings, which is so beautiful. The sister that I spoke of got me 3 of them. My other sister Maggie got me another one. I love this series so much. I am choosing to do mine in the framed configuration, not the tree. So let me show you mine. I am doing all of mine on 32 count antique white. I'm doing them all separately. I have seen some people do them all as one, which is gorgeous too. But I would like to have mine all in different silver frames. 32 count antique white with the called for MPI silks 2/2. Of course, oh, you can see my thread back there, which is, I'm gonna ask you guys a question in a minute. So anyway, I immediately started with this partridge because he's so adorable. Little chunky partridge, and then I did some of these pairs. What has slowed me down on this one? And if anyone out there is stitching this, I'm curious what you're doing. I started doing these snowflakes. So as you can see by the pattern, let me show you the pattern. All the little snowflakes are black thread, like four little stitches. Because I'm stitching it on this antique white, I don't want to carry my thread. Because like you can see from right here, right? You can see right through my fabric, you can see the black. And so I started with this one, and now I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to start and stop every single snowflake, every single set of 4, so that I don't carry the thread. I think it's worth it. And I just recently taught myself the pin stitch. So I feel like it's worth it, and I feel like it's gonna take a lot of time, but I'm curious, if any of you have stitched this and you've done it on the white, did you drag your threads in between all the snowflakes, and do you really see it when you finished it? I think I've already made up my mind. I'm gonna do you know, just little blocks individually and then restart each one and not carry the thread, but we'll see. Okay, and that one is on the goal to finish. They made that a goal to finish for me, and that is a big one. But I really do want to get it done. I mean, it's so beautiful, and I don't want to get so far behind because there's so many in the series, and I want them all. Okay, next. The Meadow. This is my first Bothy Threads kit, and I love it. So I ordered this online, and like I said, I'm obsessed with bunnies. I actually had this exact picture manifest in my neighbor's backyard. They had like these purple flowers in their yard, and there's a brown bunny living under their deck. So it was meant to be. I just love this. I love the kit threads. I did change my fabric. So it came with this speckled Aida fabric. I changed mine to 36 count raw linen. I just thought it gave it like a softer feel. I am using the kit threads on this. Let me show you where I am. And this is where I have gotten to. So it just makes me smile. So it is just so soft and realistic. Let me get closer here. Like you can just see the detail with the blending of the colors. It is just so pretty, and I love stitching on it. I just can't wait to get back to it. It's so realistic looking. I mean, like, look at that ear. It's just, it looks like a painting. So I'm really enjoying this. If you haven't done a Bothy kit, I love it. I'm definitely gonna look for more in the future when I don't have 5 million things I wanna start. Okay, next is Wander. Now this is a PDF download. You can find it on Etsy by 2x2 Stitch Art. I will insert a picture of it here. Okay, and I am doing mine on 32 count white linen with the called for DMC 2/2. And here's where I'm at. So this was also a restart. I had done the first part of this circle, the first half of this circle, and worked my way down here and had some big mistake and everything was off, and yeah. So I restarted, but I have made a ton of progress. So I am loving this one. I just think those DMC colors are so beautiful. I love the saying. I don't know, that is just so striking to me. So I'm enjoying this one too. A lot of big blocks of color in it. You know, you can see where it follows with these just big puddles of color. So that's a ton of fun. And I haven't stitched the white yet. So the white is going to be filled in. But right now you're just seeing the fabric coming through there. And it's still just so, so pretty. So I'm loving that one. Definitely want to work on that one this year. Definitely. But it's not scheduled for a finish. Okay, next, one of my very favorites. Pink Sparrow Sampler. I have to say, I'm getting more and more into samplers, but this is still my all-time favorite one. This is a reproduction sampler by Brenda Gervais. The history behind this is, oh, I can't remember the year. They've kind of dated it back to, or no, I take that back. There was a year on the frame written in pencil, but they don't know who stitched it. So some beautiful young girl long ago created this sampler. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. The colors are so beautiful, but I just love the sweetness of it. I love sparrows. I think they're just the sweetest little creatures. And these pastels, I love this one. I love this one. I gave this quite a bit of time the past couple weeks. I think I worked on it maybe 4 or 5 days. And I got some good progress on it. So I am stitching mine on 32 count Weeks Dye Works parchment. Again, that was what I was telling you about with the Weeks Dye Works when I first started on this one, because this is not a Zweigart base. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like it. I feel like it's really soft, but I stuck with it and I've come to love it. Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts is what's used, 2/2. And this is where I'm at. So I finished the whole first 2 pages of the sampler. At the end of probably my last Flosstube, I had only gotten up to about here. I had a couple of these letters, but I was about to here. And so I finished this whole side and down, and aren't those colors just fabulous? Oh, this color palette with the pinks and the greens and the soft orange colors, I could stare at this for hours. I really want to get this one done this year. It is on the list, and I want to get it professionally framed because this is honestly the most beautiful sampler I have ever seen, in my opinion. I love it so much. Oh, love it so much. Okay, we're getting close, guys. Wow, that's a lot of whips. Next is The Token by Long Dog Samplers. I saw Shiloh at X Stitch MD stitching this. I am making this a family sampler. I'm going to use these initials here and put the initials of my nieces and nephew. This is such a pretty pattern. I love this one. I am doing the exact same colors she did, DMC 814, monochromatically, and I'm stitching mine on 32 count ivory, 2/2. And here's where I'm at. Isn't that so pretty? This needle makes me laugh. Emer Quinn, the Irish stitcher, who is another Flosstube, she was stitching this pattern, and it makes me laugh so hard because it's a cute, adorable little dog with a knife. It's just such a funny cartoon. But anyway, so I am stitching mine, like I said, with DMC 814, and I love it. I love it so much. I do love stitching monochromatically. It's so easy to just go and go and go. Yeah, so I'm just slowly but surely making progress on this one. It is such a beautiful piece. It's a big piece, but such a beautiful piece. I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay, next, we're flipping another page. Star Village. So I also bought the Flower Shop recently by Thistles. I love these patterns. Look at the colors in this. Now that is 100% Gentle Arts thread in that design. It is so soft and I don't know, just soft and pastel-y and I love it. I love, love, love it. Those colors were the number 1 reason I decided to stitch it, and the fact that it's houses. So I am going to restart this. I'm going to restart it, and I'm going to tell you why. So first, let me show you where I'm at. This is on 28 count antique lace by Seraphim Fabrics. Love the linen, very pretty. I started over here in the corner, got this little sheepy done and working on the grass, and such a pretty pattern. It's going to be big. Like if you look at it's going to be a big piece. The reason why I'm going to restart it, I was already tempted to restart it because I started it on 28 and I really do prefer 32 or 36. And with the size of the piece, I was thinking it might look better smaller. But the big reason is that I just recently got an order in for Gentle Arts Tiger Lily, which is the grass. And when I look at the pattern, the grass is very much so, and right here is where it's used. It's very much like a yellow and green blend here. I guess I didn't notice that when I was using my skein of Tiger Lily that I had, because mine, if you look at it, my skeins are variegated, but they're variegated from like a deep dark green to a light green. Now, if you look at the new ones that I've got, it's very yellow. Like it's very, very different. There's the dark green is in there and the light green, but there is a ton of yellow in there. And so I fear that if I continue on the other side, which is supposed to be the same as this, I'm gonna have this patch of really dark grass and everything over here is gonna be like yellow. So it just kind of convinced me in my mind when I was already thinking about restitching it that I'm gonna go and restart it because I do want it to look like the pattern. I guess I just didn't realize that this was so dark. The skein I had was just so dark green. So I'm going to restart it, but I do love this pattern and I'm looking forward to every single stitch on it. Okay, let's talk about my UFO. I have to apologize to Amy because me and Amy were gonna go stitch in this cabin someday together. The one I am UFOing is Dimensions Aurora Cabin. And I want to say that there is nothing wrong with this pattern. It's so beautiful. I fell in love with this cabin. I love the scene. I really, really, really wanted to stitch it. But it is huge. It is huge and it is a major time commitment. The reason I decided to UFO it, so here's where I am. I was using the Kit fabric, Kit floss. So you can see how big this is gonna be. It's a full coverage piece and it's a big commitment. The reason I UFO'd it is because I just got it out in December and I was working along on it. I don't like stitching with 6 threads of floss. And so if you look at this pattern, because it's so dark and it's so dramatic, all of this up here is all like 6 strands of floss. And I just felt like I was yanking my stitches through. I pulled it out again and I started working on it and I was not enjoying it at all. I just felt like I kept knotting my thread and I was just yanking it through the fabric. And the thought of spending all of that time, or the majority of the time on this, doing that, there's too many other things I want to stitch. So I am going to just put it back into my stash. And maybe I'll come back to it at another time. But for right now, I just don't want to be yanking on my stitching. So I UFO'd this one. and it's all good. Like I said, I can start it again someday if I maybe want to try something different with it. But for now, it's a UFO. Okay, next is Liberty's Welcome. So I am going to insert a picture of it here because it's such a big piece. So I will insert a picture. Okay, so this is by Plum Street Samplers. I am stitching this with my sister also. But again, before I show you my pitiful piece, let me insert a picture of Liberty's Welcome, where my sister's at. So she's just such a monogamous stitcher. We decided to sell this one again. And of course, she just kept going and I went off to the next shiny thing. So we are both stitching this on 32 count light mocha Zweigart with the MPI Silks 2/2. And this is where I am. So the last time I stitched on this was literally on July 4th and I put that in. And I haven't put any stitches on it since. So I really need to do some catch-up work because I know she's going to pull hers out again next summer for a finish. And I really want to finish it with her. So I really have to spend some time on this one and get some work done on this. But I do love it. I do love it. It's such a pretty pattern. So that's the second sister sale that I'm woefully behind on. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're getting so close. Okay. Whew. Working up a sweat over here. 2018 Prairie Schooler Santa. So I've been collecting these slowly. I definitely want to do all the Prairie Schooler Santas. They're so adorable. I just love them so much. I started with this guy obviously because of the sweet, adorable little bunny. I am doing my Santas on 32 count beautiful beige. I am making a color change. Not that the original Prairie Schooler colors are bad because they are so pretty. My clock. You can see how I live. Just so excited the clock goes off. So I am using Louisiana Hot Sauce for the red and DMC 895 for the green. 2/2. And this is where I am. So I got the little bunny done. I've been working up the Santa. I don't have very much more to go on this. So this is scheduled to finish in 2022. But for me personally, I just wanted a brighter Santa. I like a bright red, Christmas red color, and a really rich green. So I'm gonna do mine this way, but yeah, I'm really enjoying those. Those are super easy, super fun stitches. I would love to have a Christmas tree with all of those on them. That is the goal. Okay, next. Next is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Stitch Along. It is called The Fruit of Plenty. So a lot of people finished this up, which has been so much fun to see and watch all of the fruits of their labor. It is such a beautiful piece. I did fall way, way behind on this, and it's completely okay. It's such a big piece. I knew that I probably would not keep up with it, and I just love the piece so much. I'm definitely going to finish it. So what I decided to do in 2022 is, from watching my friend Taryn Verley, hi Taryn, she is a Flosstuber as well. She had a stocking she started for her son Wyatt, and it was like 20 years ago. And obviously, right, life, and she had quadruplets and raised children and all these things. So she's not restarted, but she started working again on this stocking. And she's been doing 25 stitches a day. Now, you wouldn't think that that would make much progress, but seeing how it's added up for her, she has made so much progress on the stocking. She's so excited. She sees the finish line, and I'm like, you know, I love this piece so much, but it's just so big. And with everything else that I'm working on, I would love to do a daily focus piece. You know, I've seen some people do 30 minutes a day. I'm gonna do the 25 stitches a day. So that's what I decided to do. So I am stitching mine on 32 count light sand with DMC 3031, which is the brown color, and 3064, which is the light pink color, 2/2. And here's where I am. So it's a big one. I finished the January and February block, and I've been working on that third block for March. And now you might see on here, I've decided to turn this also into a family sampler. And the reason why is over the Christmas holiday, one of my little nieces, Magnolia, got very sick. She got 105-degree fever, and my sister rushed her to the ER. The poor little baby girl had to undergo multiple COVID tests, flu testing. They had to catheterize her to get urine samples. That poor little thing went through so much. And my poor sister, Megan, was all alone during it because only one person can accompany the patient. So having her little baby girl going through all this, not knowing what's wrong, at one point in time we thought it was possibly her appendix, was just a very scary night for all of us. And I just was sitting at home working on this sampler and just praying for them and thinking about them so hard that I just put their initials on the sampler. And I was working on this March block, and I was, like I said, I was just so focused on them and thinking about them that I put their initials, so M for Megan and M for Magnolia, into this block. And it just meant so much to me to just, you know, we all stitch on these things and you can remember points in time in your life, especially significant points in time, and what you were doing when you were stitching on it. And then it occurred to me as I was putting their names in here that back in February of 2021, my mother had hip surgery. She had hip replacement, her second hip replacement. And again, COVID was going on. I was the only one that could be with her, and I couldn't stay with her the night in the hospital. But then I went to live at her house for like 4 days and just watch over her. And so again, when I was stitching this February block, all I was thinking about was my mom. And so I put her initial, D for Debbie, here. And it's funny because I can look at this block and I can clearly remember like sitting there with her and talking and taking care of her. So it's just very, I don't know, very sentimental to me to be able to remember that. So then I went back to my January block, and the main focus in our family in January was my grandmother, because she had been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer in October of 2020. And so at this point in time, she had gotten back home and she was still very weak, and we were all very worried about her, and things were still very uncertain. And since then, she has rebounded and she's doing really, really well. We're so proud of her. But her and my grandfather were just foremost in my mind at this time, because we were stopping by to visit and to spend time with them and just really realizing how precious life is. And so L is her name, Lolly, and F is for Fred, my grandfather. So this piece has become not only a piece that I love just for the design, but a very emotional, sentimental piece that represents my family and some of the things that we've gone through, and I'll always remember it. You know, when I get this framed and it's on the wall, I'll always remember those times and how we stuck together as a family, and how life is, you know, how the ups and downs of life and the people that I love so much. So this has become very special to me, and I am going to focus on it this year, 25 stitches every day, and it'll be very interesting to see by the end of 2022 where I'm at. And I have no idea whose initials will be next. It's just going to be whenever I am in that block, whatever's going on in life will present itself the way it does. And I think that's just really cool. Okay, next is Serenity Harbor. So this is another big one. I will insert a picture of it here. So this is by the Bay Needle Arts. I am stitching mine on 36 count raw linen DMC 2/2. And the DMC is what's called for. This is a mega piece. It's a mega piece. And I started off gung-ho. Let me share it. It's a 12-part series, I think. You can buy the whole thing now. I started off gung-ho up here, and I did the rose and I did the sun. And then I started to do this back stitch, and the brakes squealed. I don't like backstitch, and I just find it very hard. I feel like I'm out in the wide open here, like there's no reference, and I'm kind of like trying to go along and make sure it lines up. And so I put it aside, and I haven't touched it since. And I love this pattern, and it's huge. It's gonna take me years and years and years and years. So I do want to get started on it again. But what I think I'm gonna do, when I've been thinking about, is I think I'm going to count down me hold this up. I think I'm gonna count down here and get to the birds and get to the water and the land so that I'll have a nice firm mark here of where I need to end this line. Because I think I'll be much more confident doing my back stitch knowing where my end point is. I can kind of plan it out better rather than just being in like wide open space. So that's my plan. I need to get back to it. It definitely won't be a finish this year. Okay, we're getting close. Wow, I have a lot of stitching. Okay, next is, again, by the Bay Needle Arts. This is in my father's house. I'm a sucker for a big house, and isn't that one beautiful? I saw Lori from Mischievous Stitches do this, and she was doing a stitch along, and I just crashed it. So I decided to start it with them. I was a little bit behind from where they were, and got started on this. I have changed the pattern a little bit. I think it's gorgeous the way it is, just as it is. But for me, I live in Michigan. We get quite a bit greener in our foliage, in our deciduous trees. So I brightened these colors up a bit because I wanted to feel a bit more like home. So I've done a lot of conversions on this, and I also changed this house. It looks pink from here, but when you get up really close and you look at the DMC, it's actually like a peachy orange, and it's still really pretty. But I was just so set on a pink house, I could not be talked out of it. So I have done a lot of substitutions. If you happen to be stitching this and you're interested in my substitutions, I will let you know what I use. But here is where I'm at. And this is on 32 count sandstone with Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, and DMC. So like I said, my trees are a little bit brighter. I've used a couple different shades of green. These are all fancy flosses. In the house, I changed to Jakey Brown. I don't know why they call it Jakey Brown. It's Jakey Pink, but hey, I'll roll. I love the pink. This is one of my very favorite pinks in the floss land. It is just so pretty. And so that's where I'm at. So I need to get back to this and work on it. I do love it so much. I think it's gonna be beautiful when it's done. Okay, this is the last page. Last couple here, guys, we're close. Okay, next is Christmas rules. I love these. I started Christmas rules and Halloween rules in 2017. I was inspired by Priscilla and Chelsea. I have plans to finish them. Christmas rules, I wanna get it done and put it on an old-fashioned sled. Halloween rules, I'm gonna insert a picture here. My monogamous sister Melissa finished it. Wow, I'm failing in the sister department. No, it's great. She inspires me to keep going on things, and I love that about her. So she finished hers, and I will insert a picture of it here. So that is how I want to finish mine, on a picket fence or an old shutter for Halloween rules. But this is Christmas rules. And so here's a picture of it. I'm doing it all, obviously, as one piece like this. It's so cute. The sayings are so cute. I love the idea of interchangeability to have Halloween rules and then have Christmas rules. It's so cute. So I am doing both Halloween rules and Christmas rules on 28 count Jobelan in clay. I'm using all the called for fancy flosses, which are Weeks Dye Works, and here's where I'm at. So I really need to get back to this. I'm gonna try this year now. Try was the key word. Not to start any Christmas projects, because I looked at my list, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I have a lot of Christmas stuff, and I really, really want to get back to this one. And this is a big one. This is gonna take some dedicated time. So I really want to get back to this. It's so adorable. Love it. Really want to have that on like one of those old-fashioned sleds with the metal runners. I think that'd be so cute. Okay, and then Halloween rules. It's Companion. So adorable. Love the colors in this one. This is like the highlights of Weeks Dye Works here for me. I love the colors in this one. So there's a bit of a story on this one. I was going gung-ho on this. Gung-ho, and let me hold up. Well, I've gotten quite a bit done. I'm almost to the bottom of the piece. So if I hold it back, again, this is on 28 count clay Jobelan with all the Weeks Dye Works. You can see, as I scroll it up, I got all the way down to sit for a spell, and then I started Brew Some Fun. Loved every single block, completely happy with it. Well, then I decided I should probably do this black border down the side. And I started to do the black border and I realized I'm off. And the reason I'm off, I'm not off block to block. So let me put this on the board. I'm not off block to block, like above and below. These are all aligned, which is fantastic. What I'm off with is where I actually started up top. The top piece that they give you for free that you download off the website, I was off a couple stitches, so you can see I'm off here. So I'm gonna tear out just this top and move it over so it's aligned and continue the border and then finish the bottom. So the only reason I didn't pull it out this October is because I dread the frogging. We all dread the frogging, right? It's not our favorite part, but I need to get back to it because I really do want to finish it. Okay, lastly, this is a new WIP. I started this last night because I am feeling all the Valentines. I'm so excited. I love Valentine's Day. So I started Luminous Fiber Arts, A Bluebird's Message. How cute is he? So cute. And now I just got So Tweet and Comfort and Joy, and I think there's a 4th of July one too. That bluebird's so adorable. So I am stitching mine on 32 count antique white with the Called For Weeks Die Works 2/2. And I just have a small start because I started this last night. I started doing this sweet little Valentine border that's Aztec red. And I just love it. It looks like a real Valentine, you know, like the old-fashioned Valentines with all the lace and stuff. Love it. Whew. Okay, that is all my WIPs. So I'm gonna try and wrap this video up because wow, that was a lot. So just real briefly, and I'll get into this more in my next video. I hope to be back in 2 weeks. I got a new planner, 2022. I had bought the little pocket lane calendar and I was trying to like write what I was working on every day, but it was really small. I was having a hard time with it. So I found this, and it's by the Orange Circle Studio. They make a bunch of them. And I love that it's just the big blocky months. So just a big monthly calendar. There's no weekly days, there's no daily days, it's all months. And so I got this and I have filled it out as my 2022 cross stitch journal. And I have just been putting what I'm working on each day, what I want to work on that month, and then my goal of having the 25 stitches per day on my Modern Folk Embroidery sale. And in the back, what I've done, they have these, the only other thing in this planner is these big note sheets. And so I put 2022 WIP list to show what I came into 2022 with, which ones are the goal to finish by my sister's decisions. And then I've also got a page for 2022 new starts. So I started A Bluebird's Message, and this is just gonna keep me on track and show me in a fun way, like I came in with 36 WIPs, how many did I finish for the year? And then how many starts did I have? And just keep track of it by day, because I think that's really fun. And I think it'll be a really fun thing to look back at. Okay, I am gonna finish up with Stitchy Kindness and our happy card, and then I'm gonna let you go and try to drink a gallon of water, because my mouth is dry. I had so much Stitchy Kindness in the past couple of months. I'm so grateful for the friends I've made in this community. A lot of you we haven't met in person, but I feel like we've been friends for life, and I can really resonate with the people in this community. We have so much in common, not just with the stitching, but just the type of people you are, and I just want to tell you how grateful I am for your friendship. You definitely don't have to send me things, but I am so grateful for some of the things that I have received. So let me go through them. Okay, so first of all, my friend Robin Brown, you can find her on Instagram, has sent me some really beautiful cards. I got a Thanksgiving card and a Christmas card. Many of you sent me Christmas cards. I'm not gonna go through all those today, but I've thanked you for the Christmas cards. If I haven't thanked you, thank you so much for your Christmas card. Mine went out very late this year because I said I was so far behind. But I'm so appreciative of all those. I got a beautiful card and a floss drop of Maisie's nose from Daylene. It's so grateful. Love you, Daylene. Thank you so much. These made my day. She's got an adorable dog named Maisie, and she's so sweet. I got a card and a penny pull. So Michelle And Penny's daughter, Shares, who I've spoke about quite a bit, sent me this. She's a fellow Michigan stitcher, and she makes these. It's like a friendship bracelet with a little penny that you can put on your project bag or your scissor fob. And she calls it a penny pull, and I just love that so much. Thank you, Michelle. Next, I got a card from Betsy Klager. Betsy, like I said, we're doing the stupid tumor sale, and someone made these floss drops of her as Braveheart, which is fantastic. So thank you so much, Betsy. You know I love you. You're such a good friend, but I really enjoyed that. My friend Shelly, who is Proverbs 31:22, I believe, sent me this gorgeous bunny fabric. I'm going to put Instagram and her Flosstube channel name here because she does Flosstubes as well, but she does quilting too. She's a phenomenal quilter. I don't know how she does what she does, but she sent me this bunny fabric, which was so incredibly thoughtful. I love it so much, Shelly. That was so incredibly generous of you. I will definitely be making a project bag out of this. I'm just obsessed with bunnies, and she thought of me, and it just really brightened my day. So go check out Shelly's channel if you haven't yet. She's phenomenal, and she's such a sweet person. So thank you so much, Shelly. I love it. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, and then last but not least, my friend Taryn. You have to check out her channel. Taryn is one of my very favorite floss tubers. She's just got such a calming mannerism, and she stitches all kinds of things, like things from old magazines, some new things, some things that are in like old leaflets. I just love the variety in her stitching. I love it. So she sent me this sweet card. She sent me this little frog and said, hopefully this keeps the frog away. And I hang him, Taryn, I hang him up here on one of the nails on the wall. He's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. And then she got me this cup. I had commented on a cup her daughter had found, a woman on Etsy who makes custom cups, and she loves Snoopy. I love Snoopy. We have a Snoopy bond. And she sent me this. So thank you so much, Taryn. I have used this so many times, and I always think of you. It was so kind of you. Love you, girl. Okay, let's finish up with the happy card. And I can wrap this up, and it's going to take me 35 days to load it because it's already 59. Okay, what number were we on here? 13. I am compassionate. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I am compassionate. Wow, this really resonates with these times. I don't know about you guys, but it has been hard lately in the world to see your fellow man in a positive way. I feel like the world is full of arguing and anger and disagreements that just because people have different views, they can't see beyond that and be kind to one another. And it's hard. I feel like, turning on the news every day, there's some new sad thing and new way people are hurting each other or tearing each other down. And it takes a lot of effort, I think, to keep a positive attitude and to be compassionate. And I think this card sums it up so well, that it's just so important during this time and in all times to be kind to yourself, to love yourself, and to not judge yourself harshly for how you might be feeling, and to give yourself some grace in the fact that maybe you do feel down at times and you're not always super cheerful. We can't all be super cheerful all the time. But I think it's good too to be compassionate to others and remember that everyone out there is going through their own mental struggle. They're all experiencing family members maybe being ill, job struggles, financial struggles, differences of opinion in general that seem to divide wedges between people. And I think if we were all just a little bit more compassionate towards one another, the world would be such a better place. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here because I know the people in this community are all so accepting and compassionate and loving to one another. And that's one of the reasons that I am just so happy to have found Flosstube and so happy to call you all friends. So when you go out into your day today, just remember to keep that compassionate heart for yourself and for others. So I love you guys. Like I said, I will be back in a couple of weeks. Now that we're upon the new year, I want to keep a regular schedule so I don't have to do massive WIP Parade and run out of saliva in my mouth. But until I talk to you guys next time, happy stitching, happy 2022. Let's make it super stitchy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.